Pat's at Wrigley Field talking Bears and baseball and Special Olympics. Hello, Pat.
Hey, Pat. Yeah, special event for the Special Olympics. We have Dan Hampton. We're going to talk a little Bears in a second. But first, we'll talk a little baseball. You know, happiness is seeing the Metrodome in your rearview mirror, preferably in ruins. The Sox played their final game at that dump yesterday, and they stuck it to that place. That's right, Hampton, your days are numbered. Sox were down to their final strike when Gordon Beckham makes it 2-1. Next batter is Paul Konerko. He, too, down to his final strike. And he ties it up. Both home runs off closer Joe Nathan. Then with runners on first and second, Alexi Ramirez down to his final strike, and he singles. Dwayne Wise coming home. He is safe, and the Sox win 3-2. They finish 89 and 114 at the Metrodome all time. Cubs and Astros. This here is the only scoring they did. Derek Lee with a 2-run home run, and that's really all the scoring they needed. Ted Lilly's curveball working quite nicely. He improves to 7-1 at Wrigley this season, and the Cubs win 2-1. Tonight is the Bears preseason finale. We're going to talk to Hamp about that in a second. First, thanks for coming out with us this morning. I know we have a bunch of Chevy Equinoxes here and Special Olympians for the All-Star Salute. Tell me a little bit about it.
All right, our great friends at Chevrolet once again have stepped up to the plate, and they've come up with a wonderful way of supporting the Special Olympics. And all you got to do is if you can look right back here, All-Star Salute.com. That's the website. You go to that. You purchase a ticket for $20. Now, what do you get? Well, you get a chance to win one of these 2010 Equinox vehicles. And the real interesting little twist of this is one of those 6 celebrities will be one that you select to bring it to your house. Wow. So it could be Lou Pennell, it could be Ozzy, it could be me, it could be Patrick Kane. That is the real interesting part about this. Chevy obviously has been a great supporter of the Special Olympics for many, many, many years. This is just another one of the great promotions that they're doing, and that's why we're here watching the sun come up over Wrigley.
Beautiful morning. So the preseason finale tonight. Who are some guys right now? There's some veterans on the bubble right now. Any guys that you think could be surprising cuts or vets that might not make it?
Well, I think Rasheed Davis has to be concerned. You know, obviously, nothing is ever final until the final preseason game. But I think the coaches realize that, you know, receiver is a position that we have to get better. You can't get better if you keep the status quo. Yeah, you know, Nathan Vasher has not done an awful lot to ensure himself or endear himself to the coaches on defense. I think that there has to be a certain look towards the future. Now, when you get a guy like Jay Cutler, you know, he's going to cover up. He's going to be a great deodorant for a lot of the problems that may.
Can I use that one?
Of course. But at the end of the day, you still have to be able to think we need to be better in November than we are today. If you keep the same players year after year, you're not going to get much better. Right. So I look for maybe some new blood at receiver, new blood at cornerback. Rod Hood was signed this week. Yeah. Look for him to maybe take the Vasher spot.
Not a lot of new blood on the defensive line, except for Rod Marinelli, defensive lines coach. I've heard so many good things about him. Is it being overblown a little bit, or what are your thoughts on him and that D-line?
Well, we do have some talent. You know, obviously the big question is Tommy Harris. Is he going to be a force like we saw 2-3 years ago? Right. It doesn't look like it. But I do know this. A little means a lot. And little things in technique, I've already seen Alex Brown and the Gunliang, their first step much better. They look like their body lean's a little bit improved. Some of the young guys like Israel Adonijah and Jerron Gilbert, the first pick of the draft this year, they've got to get better. And Rod Marinelli's a guy that's shown that he can coach young guys, make them make strides and improve. And who knows, we may not be where we need to be right now starting the season, but in November, we can be pretty soft.
The whole defense predicated on getting that pressure up front. Dan Hampton, thank you for joining us. AllStarSalute.com. Go there and check it out. We're going to be here all morning. We got Troy Murray, Ozzy Guillen, Lou Pennell, and some more Special Olympians coming up. Paul, back to you.
Thanks, Patrick. Morning, everybody.